Something quite weird has happened over the last couple of days. Apparently, aliens are real. They're real, they've been here all along, and the government have been just kind of ignoring them, going, I don't know, maybe they're real, maybe they're not. But recently, there has been a Congress hearing where they've pretty much all but confirmed that aliens are real. We have their spacecrafts. So this came from the words of the US Navy Commander David Grush, who basically went on record to claim that, yep, aliens exist. So he basically went on to tell Congress that the military has, and I quote, a small white UFO in their possession. Now, I'm not really sure if this is like an actual UFO-sized UFO or something he got from one of those like claw-grabbing machines from Toy Story, but it is very weird to see someone in Congress basically admit something that's been up in the air for decades. The best thing is, I love about this entire situation, is aliens could be real. No one cares. I have genuinely never seen anyone. You've got a couple of the gimmick accounts doing like little throwaway gags and stuff, but honestly, it's just business as usual. It's amazing to think that we live in a day and age where, for example, PewDiePie saying the N-word on the PUBG bridge actually gained more traction than aliens. Now, I do want to say there have been a couple of detractors, people that just don't believe this, think it's BS or something to distract us from a bigger issue, which is what a lot of people usually say. For example, you've got Wendigoon here, very good YouTuber, and he said, you take the government official and under oath too seriously. The hearing was about the US government hiding proof of foreign military aircraft in a restricted airspace. And then when one guy was called to testify, we have aliens, and we've had alien tech since World War II. Basically confirms. So what he said there, and what a lot of people have been saying online, is this isn't actually aliens, but they're saying it's aliens because you can use it as a term for someone that like isn't American, I guess. I bet he don't even put a bulletproof backpack on his kid to school every day. Now, this guy, David Grush, is not like an industry plant or anything. He's actually been serving in the US Navy for around 14 years, so he has many years of experience. He basically has as many years of experience as the average Mercy main does in Overwatch. He was an intelligence officer in the Air Force and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, appeared before the House Oversight Committee's National Security Subcommittee alongside two former fighter pilots who had first-hand experience with the UFOs. Now, I do want to say this is a thing that's been going around for quite a while now. There was actually a couple fighter pilots that said that they saw a UFO or some kind of flying object that they couldn't identify, which again, that is literally the acronym of UFO, unidentified flying object. I also do want to say the David Grush guy that went on record, he basically said, yeah, it happened, but I'm not going to prove it. He wouldn't actually prove it to the public. He basically said he'll tell Congress in private, so he's going to take it to DMs with Congress or over Discord probably. But yeah, I like how it's one of the biggest claims ever made, apart from accusing someone of lying on the internet, and it's basically just the source. Trust me, bro. Now, I do want to address an unfortunate elephant in the room. Yes, I'm completely aware that Critical already beat me to this topic by a good 2 days now. So if you've even made it this far into the video, which is like, you deserve some kind of Purple Heart of Honor right there, because that is astounding. The fact that you all watched the same video twice amazes me. But I am bringing you content that no one else is talking about, especially Critical. And that is the fact that Joe Rogan had a military pilot on his podcast, and he basically spilled all the beans.
From my experience, from our experience, and again, we weren't studying these, but they were always out there. You know, they were out there when we took off, we'd see them, and then we go to land, they would still be out there.
Like every day?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
So you guys go from not having any idea that these things are out there to an upgraded radar system to seeing them every day.
Yep.
Now, with a name like Ryan Graves, he reminds me of one of the bad guys from the new Modern Warfare 2, but he is a trained US Army pilot and has been for numerous years. So, I mean, if he didn't get disappeared after the interview, maybe he's speaking a little bit of truth. I'd like to imagine, like, as soon as he did the Joe Rogan interview and basically just admitted that aliens were real, UFOs were real, he just gets abducted as soon as he leaves. Like that really shitty Grey Hill incident game. I don't know if you've seen gameplay of that. I played it once in a call. It's absolutely horrendous. One thing I really like about this situation, which I mentioned near the start of the video, is there are so many news articles even saying, are aliens real? People online don't really seem to care. And it's true. Like, there could actually be alien life out there. We might not be alone in the universe. There could be, I think they found at one point, like, traces of water on Mars or something, or little bits of bacteria. But, like, actual sentient life, that could be real. And that brings up, like, so many forms of discussion. I have used this buzzword phrase a fair few videos ago, but there's this thing with, like, you know, the whole concept of intergalactic life called the Kardashev scale. And basically, it comes in 3 types. Type 1 is a civilization that's able to harness all kinds of power from its own planet. Like, for example, coal, manure, just any kind of way on the planet to create energy. That's the civilization that we are right now. And then type 2 is the kind of civilization that can harness power from, like, stars, like the sun. Now, when I say that, you might be going, actually, we use solar panels. Shut up. I'm talking about building structures that like don't even exist, that wrap around the sun to suck all the energy out of it. And then type 3 is a civilization that is so gigabase, it can basically harness the power of an entire galaxy, like basically cracking planets, kind of like Dead Space. So if we know that there's a civilization that is not type 1 like us, but it could be type 2 or 3, I think we're a little bit screwed. I'm just going to say, GG's in chat. I'm going to play Worms, wave my little white flag, and then I'll just Alt F4. You even had at one point during Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appear to ask some questions, AOC, which you probably know from appearing in Corpse Husband videos and pretty much every second Hassan stream. She didn't really ask anything important though, more just kind of like the finances and stuff. Nothing really to do with aliens. But then one guy that was really asking some questions that we care about, like for example, aliens, was this guy called Mr. Burleson. And, you know, he was asking stuff that everyone seems to gloss over. They're talking about finances and all this boring stuff, but no one seems to actually be talking about the aliens except for him.
At one point, you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity...
By UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay, so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment.
It's interesting because you can tell that he really wants to answer this question, but he knows that if he does, he's going to get disappeared, either abducted or Agent 47's going to, you know, get deployed and like tie a fiber wire around his neck as soon as he leaves the building.
But at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed, myself and my wife, was very disturbing.
Okay. One of my constituents actually sent this next question, and I figured I'd ask it since I had the same thought. You've said that the U.S. has intact spacecraft. You said that the government has alien bodies or alien species. Have you seen the spacecraft?
I have to be careful to describe what I've seen firsthand and not in this environment, but I could answer that question behind closed doors. Yeah.
And have you seen any of the bodies?
That's something I've not witnessed myself.
So he's saying he hasn't actually seen any little grey people's bodies or anything like that, but he has seen like a craft. But again, he can't go into details because you could tell this guy is like a TMZ exclusive. He really wants to spill everything, but I think he knows that he could get disappeared, he could lose his job, or at least officially the government could just completely disown him and say he's a traitor for, like, you know, leaking state secrets. Basically, he's in the boys Discord group chat and he has two options. He leaks everything to the government, everyone in the world knows, but also then at the same time he's leaked to the boys group chat, so at the same time he's going to make himself a marked man.
Okay, and so with that being said, you know, the other statement that has been made that was intriguing to me it's intriguing because my view has been that we are billions of light years away from any other system, and the concept that an alien species that's technologically advanced enough to travel billions of light years gets here and somehow is incompetent enough to not survive Earth or crashes is something that I find a little bit far-fetched. And with that being said, you have mentioned that there's interdimensional potential. Could you expound on that?
Yeah, to answer your first question, and I'm here as a fact witness and expert, but I will give you a theoretical framework, at least to work off, to kind of espouse crashes, regardless of your level of sentience, right? Planes crash, cars crash. N number of sorties, however high, a small percentage are going to end in, mission failure, if you will, as we say in the Air Force.
I love that, right? Like, he's talking about traveling interdimensionally to, like aliens are that far away that they need to travel across entire dimensional planes, like a Marvel film, just to get over here, and then they crash anyway. And then his comparison is, yeah, but humans are pretty smart. We crash our cars. Sometimes planes crash. Sometimes we don't have enough fuel. Sometimes some birds fly into the jet turbine. It's not really in our control. You're comparing humans to the possibility of interdimensional intelligent life that is that clever they can leap across dimensions. Maybe when he tried landing on the Earth, his car stalled. I don't know, guys. So yeah, overall, a very weird and interesting situation. I'm not really sure what's going to happen next. Maybe we'll get abducted by aliens. But I just love that the overall reaction that the entire world is having right now is, that's cool. Like, I'm not joking. You could probably have a UFO, like, land in some country, like, let's say, I don't know, like Argentina, and then the rest of the world goes, it's probably CGI. They might be filming, like, a new Transformers film. It's not happening here, so I don't really believe it. Hashtag fake news.